turn now to the latest in a leadership battle that's brewing among House Democrats on Capitol Hill. So Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin, a former constitutional law professor, is vying to unseat the current top Democrat on the powerful House Judiciary Committee. That's Congressman Jerry Nadler of New York.
In a letter announcing his candidacy, Raskin, a cancer survivor, said the Judiciary Committee will be the headquarters of congressional opposition to authoritarianism and MAGA's campaign to dismantle our constitutional system. I hope to be at the center of this fight, and as someone who has battled cancer and chemotherapy, I can tell you that I will never, never surrender.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitali. Ali, good morning. So it seems like this makes some sense, right? Democrats sort of trying to regroup in the wake of their election loss to Donald Trump, and this being a piece of that. But tell us why this particular role on the House Judiciary Committee is so important, even with the House in Republican control.
Well, the Judiciary Committee, as Raskin rightly points out, is one of the key epicenters. What you get when you have gavel control in the House is you get subpoena power. And so for someone like Jim Jordan, James Comer, we've seen what they've been able to do with that subpoena power over the course of the last 2 years. I would argue they were not able to drill down on the investigations front in the way that they had hoped, largely because they were never able to find any there with the things that they pursued. But certainly we've seen some of the promises that Jordan and other Trump allies have made of what they're going to do with the gavel now that they continue to keep it. So for Raskin, he was the ranking member on the Oversight Committee, sparred with James Comer, the head of that committee, for the last 2 years. And now he's looking to make his way over to the Judiciary Committee because, as he says, it's the epicenter of the so-called MAGA movement. Jordan, of course, a very long-time Trump ally. And so we're watching Raskin try to make his way to be the top Democrat on that committee. It might make sense to everyone who's not in Washington or in the Capitol every day, but I cannot stress to you guys enough how rare it is to see Democrats be challenging the senior members of their party for these plum committee chair assignments, or in this case, the ranking member assignments. The difference between Democrats and Republicans in the House is Republicans term limit the people who head up their committees. Democrats do not. There's a whole number of reasons for that. But the fact that we're now seeing not just Raskin challenging the senior member, in this case it's Jerry Nadler of New York, not just Raskin challenging him, but then also seeing other committee chairs be challenged or pressured out, it's really stunning, and it's sort of the sign of a new age of doing things, new way of doing things potentially on the Hill.
Yeah, so Ali, what else are you watching then?
Well, the fact that we're also seeing Congressman Raul Grijalva, who is the longtime committee chair of the Natural Resources Committee. He knew he was going to be getting his own challenge from younger members. He, yesterday, in a letter that I obtained to his colleagues, also said he was going to step aside. And so we're watching in this instance the fact, and I'm just dialing back into you guys because I lost you, but we saw him step down. We're seeing this happen at other committee levels because as we watch this Congress turnover, we are also now watching the committee chairman's turnover along with it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.